All right, we're going to try to get into this because there's not really a whole bunch of time to like tweak it and prepare it, and you know, we're living in a certain dispensation, a certain age. The only thing I can say is to get your pen and your paper. Well, first come with a willing and a ready mind. Hopefully a newborn mind, a mind that's not conformed to the world, or a mind that's seeking to be unconformed and not conformed to the world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind in the good news of the King of Kings and his Christ. Now, with that being said, grab your pen and your paper and bring the sacred scripture, the Bible, and be prepared to receive. Be prepared to receive the truth. Not just from what I'm saying, but go verify it. In other words, go search it out for yourself. Here, listen to what this warner, this proclaimer is saying, but with the time that is still available, with the time that one still has, check it out for yourself. Listen, take good notes, and go and check it out for yourself. Now, since I guess you'll say 9/11, this is all in this particular season with the 9/11, or for us as Ethiopian Hebrews, the 9/12. 9/11, September 11th, usually is the Ethiopian solar New Year. There's 13 months of sunshine, so forth and so on. We can explain that. But the Ethiopic or the Ethiopian calendar, being a Christian calendar, in the sense of a true Christian calendar, is solar oriented. And now we touched on the solar and the lunar and the solar, and how the heavens is God's clockwork. In other words, like we have a watch. Some people have a watch on their wrist, and others may have a clock on the wall. The sky or the heavens is the Almighty's clockwork. Unfortunately, in this shitty and city life that most of us have been by hook or by crook forced to live in, we don't even understand how the heavens work. And every time if we look up at the heavens and we want to find out, there are some religious so-called zealots that are telling us that we are worshiping. We're not to worship astrology or zoology or whatever else like that. Yet, our governments will spend billions of dollars, take it away from health care, from education, from everything else, spend billions of dollars researching the far-off recesses of outer space. These are just a couple of the things that make you wonder, what's up with that? But they keep everyone in the rat race. They try to keep us all in this rat race. And the gig is up. In other words, we're coming to some very interesting times. And we're not going to act like we're going to tell you, well, where you should go. You should be here. You should be there. You could be in Africa. You could be in America. You could be in the North Pole. You could be in Europe. You could be in South America, the Caribbean. I mean, true. There are certain places that's going to be more affected than other places. But it's not a guarantee because ones are in Africa. I mean, look at the drought situation that's going on in East Africa, the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Kenya, and some of the Ethiopia regions. And then look at the drought that's been going on over here in Texas. You understand? Texas, the fires and the floods. So if you're looking for easy solutions, stop. In other words, easy solutions to say that, well, you're not going to experience the changes that we are now on the cusp or a greater manifestation. We're already in that time of change. In fact, some say when the world is going to end, and the whole 2012, you probably heard a lot about the 2012 thing, and the Mayan calendar and the end of the world. Well, the ending of this world system has already begun. In fact, the ending of this world system has already begun decades ago. You understand that so-called day of the Lord, humanity has already missed that. But in the mercy of the Almighty, in the mercy of the Almighty, we are what we are, and here we are, and we still have an opportunity to preach and to proclaim the good news, the gospel, the half of the story that hasn't been told until now. But what we want to address here, with the week or so that we have, with the actually it's be less than 7 days. It's the 22nd now, and some were saying that there's some signs or alignments for the 22nd for this day. We haven't seen or felt the real manifestation or effects of it, but we don't doubt that as well. What we're pointing to right now is the Hebraic Feast of Trumpets, or the YOM TERUAH, the festival of trumpets, which according to the lunar calculation of time will occur this year in the Hebraic order, and in the quote Jewish sense, it will occur this year on September 28th. September 28th. And now, with that being said, we want to address the point about Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur. If you've watched one of the earlier videos, we just briefly put it out there that Yom Kippur doesn't occur. In other words, Yom Kippur doesn't appear in the Bible. Yom Kippur usually is a 2-day celebration among modern European Jews. It's a 2-day celebration. But biblically speaking, scripturally speaking, what they cover up is the Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets, in that 7th month, it actually marks the beginning of the civil year and the announcement of the fall festivals. So the announcement of the fall festivals is what is actually upcoming. Now, there seems to be a comet. Some of you probably have already been watching about this, and there were a couple of comments that were brought to our attention concerning a possible alignment around 9/11. And this actually, when we heard it, we said, let's look up, see what's going on. Now, we've been hearing about different comments. We've been hearing about Nibiru, and some of this is plausible. We're not discounting it, but with our scientific approach to it, based on the spiritual and scriptural truth of the word, we have to get a little more information before we, as they say, buy into it, or before we invest it, or before we go off, like a lot of folks been saying, oh, Nibiru, this is all about this star Nibiru. And you say, well, how do you know this? Oh, I seen a video. And yeah, the video, man, that was something. You need to see it too. Okay, I'll see the video, but what else have you done to really prove and try this word that you heard? You know what I mean? What else have you done? It's one thing to say, I think so. You understand? But you have to keep a little bit of reason. You understand? To say, I need to find out a little bit more about this myself. So, with that being said as well, this is kind of a little just catch up, like if you've been watching some of the other videos, and so you're familiar with some of the other words that we have spoken and some of the teachings that we have taught. One of the main reasons that we've been focusing more on our inner self, or the inner sense, you see what I'm saying, and the stability within our souls, is because when the word says about the abomination of desolation, stand in the holy place, if you look in the parentheses outside that, it says, he who reads, let him who reads understand. Let him who reads, in our sense, overstand. So when it says the holy place, you have to recognize that where is the holy place? So you have folks looking around and say, I want to be in Jerusalem. You understand? Some people may say, I want to be in Ethiopia. Some people, on the other hand, might say, I want to be in Vatican, Rome. Some people say, I want to be up in the Tibet mountains. Some people, you understand what I'm saying? They want to be at a certain site where perhaps other holy people have charged and made holy, or use the radiation fields